Kính thưa quý thầy cô giáo, thực hiện cam kết đồng hành cùng với quý thầy cô giáo sử dụng sách giáo khoa của Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam, ngày hôm nay thực hiện theo kế hoạch bồi dưỡng giáo viên để giảng dạy bộ sách giáo khoa Global Success. Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam phối hợp với Nhà xuất bản Macmillan tổ chức buổi hội thảo chuyên đề cho các thầy cô giáo dạy tiếng Anh tiểu học. Kính thưa các thầy cô, như vậy các thầy cô đã bước vào một năm học mới và có lẽ chúng ta đã bắt đầu thi giữa kỳ rồi, phải không ạ? Thời gian thì trôi qua rất là nhanh, nhưng chắc hẳn Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam hy vọng rằng trong suốt mùa tập huấn mùa hè vừa rồi với các thầy cô giáo sử dụng sách giáo khoa tiếng Anh tiểu học, đặc biệt là sách giáo khoa mới theo chương trình phổ thông 2018 Global Success, thì các thầy cô đã được tham dự các buổi tập huấn theo sử dụng sách giáo khoa cũng như những buổi tập huấn chuyên đề chuyên sâu. Và ngày hôm nay xin được thông báo với các thầy cô là một trong những hội thảo cuối cùng của năm 2022 sẽ khép lại. Đó chính là chuỗi hội thảo chuyên đề chuyên sâu hơn dành cho các thầy cô giáo viên tiểu học. Và ngày hôm nay chào mừng với các thầy cô đến với hội thảo với topic Teaching Songs and Chants in the Global Success Series. Và xin thông báo với thầy cô kế hoạch tiếp theo, một cái hội thảo chuyên đề mà Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam sẽ tổ chức tiếp trong tháng 11 sẽ là một buổi chuyên đề về sử dụng ứng dụng sách mềm và học liệu trong giảng dạy tiếng Anh Global Success. Hy vọng các thầy cô sẽ dành thời gian để tham dự thêm một buổi hội thảo chuyên đề mà Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam sẽ tiếp tục tổ chức trong tháng 11. Và lời đầu tiên xin được thay mặt cho Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam xin được gửi lời chào nồng nhiệt và kính chúc sức khỏe tới tất cả các thầy cô giáo dạy tiếng Anh tiểu học theo bộ sách giáo khoa Global Success trên toàn quốc. Và ngày hôm nay trên khán phòng Zoom của webinar Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam, chúng ta xin được đón chào tất cả các thầy cô đồng nghiệp từ tất cả mọi miền trên toàn quốc đã được tham dự buổi hội thảo chuyên đề ngày hôm nay. Cảm ơn các thầy cô rất là nhiều, và chúng ta thấy rằng là số lượng các trường tiểu học, các thầy cô vẫn đang tiếp tục join vào khán phòng của chúng ta đang ngày càng đông lên rồi. Và hiện tại trong khán phòng webinar này chúng tôi có khoảng 1.900 điểm cầu và đang livestream trực tiếp trên kênh YouTube của sách mềm. Hơn 500 thầy cô giáo viên đang theo dõi. Vâng, cảm ơn các thầy cô đã rất là nhiều đã dành những tình cảm và tiếp tục đồng hành với Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam và series Global Success trong chương trình giảng dạy của mình. Thưa các thầy cô, ngày hôm nay tham dự buổi ngày hôm nay, Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam trân trọng cảm ơn và cảm ơn rất là nhiều với sự đồng hành và hỗ trợ của Nhà xuất bản Macmillan trong suốt quá trình triển khai tổ chức biên soạn bộ sách, cũng như hỗ trợ Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam trong công tác tập huấn giáo viên sử dụng bộ sách này. Trân trọng gửi lời chào và giới thiệu với các thầy cô sự quay trở lại của thầy Derek Sprafford, là chuyên gia đào tạo, tập huấn và phát triển sự nghiệp giảng dạy của Macmillan châu Á. Thầy đã tham dự hội thảo chuyên đề với chúng ta vào tháng 6 năm 2022 với một chuyên đề vô cùng hấp dẫn, và ngày hôm nay đã quay trở lại với chúng ta trong một buổi hội thảo chuyên đề về một chủ đề vô cùng hấp dẫn, đấy chính là Songs and Chants. Và đến dự buổi hội thảo ngày hôm nay cũng xin được giới thiệu với quý thầy cô giáo sự góp mặt của thầy tổng chủ biên, các chủ biên, các thầy cô tác giả của bộ sách giáo khoa tiếng Anh Global Success cũng có tham dự buổi hội thảo ngày hôm nay, và chào mừng nồng nhiệt với tất cả quý thầy cô. Vâng, xin được giới thiệu các thầy cô. Thầy Hoàng Văn Vân, tổng chủ biên bộ sách Global Success Series ngày hôm nay cũng đã có mặt. Vâng, cảm ơn thầy rất là nhiều ạ. Và kính thưa các thầy cô, đây là một trong những hội thảo chuyên đề mà Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam mong muốn sẽ được tổ chức thường niên và định kỳ để hỗ trợ cho quý thầy cô trong quá trình giảng dạy sách giáo khoa Global Success. Và chủ đề ngày hôm nay, theo mong mỏi của rất nhiều thầy cô có gửi feedback về cho Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục, chúng tôi mong muốn sẽ được training tập huấn nhiều hơn về phương pháp giảng dạy Songs and Chants trong series Global Success, để làm sao có thể có những cái giờ dạy vui vẻ, hiệu quả theo đúng cái mục đích của và mục tiêu mà bộ sách, trên cái bộ sách mà các tác giả muốn gửi tới cho các thầy cô. Vâng, thưa các thầy cô, như vậy ngày hôm nay trong buổi hội thảo này, thầy Derek Sprafford sẽ cùng chia sẻ với các thầy cô những kỹ thuật dạy Songs and Chants trong các tiết học của bộ sách Global Success, và làm thế nào để có thể ứng dụng những kỹ thuật này để giúp cho học sinh có thể ôn luyện và tăng cường được khả năng phát âm, cũng như là sử dụng các cái cấu trúc ngữ pháp và ôn tập lại tất cả những cái kiến thức đã học ở những bài trước đó và sử dụng các cái phương pháp khác nhau để có thể làm cho giờ dạy Songs and Chants hấp dẫn hơn rất là nhiều. Và với mục tiêu của việc dạy Songs and Chants này không phải là để bắt học sinh của mình học thuộc, mà là thông qua việc học Songs and Chants này, các em sẽ cảm thấy việc giờ học tiếng Anh nó thú vị hơn rất là nhiều. Thì hy vọng rằng trong 1 tiếng rưỡi sắp tới đây, thầy Derek sẽ chia sẻ với các thầy cô thật nhiều những cái thông tin quý báu để các thầy cô có thể trang bị thêm cho mình những cái kỹ thuật và phương pháp giảng dạy những giờ học này trên lớp của mình. Cảm ơn các thầy cô rất là nhiều và hy vọng 1 tiếng rưỡi trong một sáng thứ Bảy cuối tuần rất là đẹp như thế này sẽ mang lại cho các thầy cô thật nhiều niềm vui và những hứng khởi trong sự nghiệp giảng dạy của mình. Và thưa các thầy cô, vào cuối buổi ngày hôm nay thì Nhà xuất bản Giáo dục Việt Nam sẽ gửi tới các thầy cô phiếu khảo sát cũng như là certificate, giấy chứng nhận tham gia buổi hội thảo ngày hôm nay. Các thầy cô vui lòng ghi nhớ là mình sẽ phải tham gia và được nhận giấy chứng chỉ này ạ. Và với tính năng của hội thảo webinar thì các thầy cô sẽ có thể là tương tác với trainer qua mục Q&A nếu cần hỏi gì thêm trong quá trình thầy giảng bài, thì các thầy cô có thể trao đổi trong Q&A để chúng ta sẽ không bị trôi các câu hỏi của mình ạ. Vâng, cảm ơn các thầy cô rất nhiều. Các thầy cô muốn tương tác với trainer, em xin nhắc lại một lần nữa, chúng ta sẽ gửi câu hỏi vào mục Q&A. Vâng, cảm ơn các thầy cô rất là nhiều. Và ngay sau đây, em xin được nhường lời và gửi nhường sân khấu cho thầy host của chúng ta hôm nay. Warmly welcome Mr. Derek Swafford. Morning, and thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. An. How are you?
Yeah, well, fine, happy now.
Good.
So you can say that hello to teachers and
hello, everybody. Welcome to this morning session. How are you all? Can you all hear me okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. We're all good. All right, I have the chat box in another window here, so I can talk to you through the chat. All right, should I get started?
Sure.
All right, let me share my screen then. One moment, I need to share the sound as well. All right, now just check that you can see my screen and everything, okay. Can you see that, Mr. An?
Can you speak louder, Derek?
Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, I can see you now.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Lovely. Okay, all right, let's get started. So, thank you, Mr. An. Thank you to Miss Quinn from Macmillan Education, and thank you all for coming this morning. My name is Derek. You can call me Del if you want to. I work for Macmillan Education, and I am the Asia Regional Development Manager. You may have seen me if you attended the last session that we did on listening skills, if I remember correctly. Today, we're going to be talking about songs and chants in the Global Success series. There's lots of songs and chants for you to access. And for the next hour and a half, we're going to discuss and come up with some ideas and reasons why they are so useful and how we can adapt them. So some people are saying they can't see me, but it's not full screen. But most people, I think, are okay. I can see your screen. I can see your screen. I think it's all right. I'm not doing anything different with the share. Let me just try again. Share screen, share sound. Okay, I think it's okay. All right. So first thing I want to tell you about this morning is I would like you, and I can see people are posting nicely into the chat. I would really, really like it if you could participate this morning and give me your ideas in the chat. And we're going to use some online tools as well to support you as well. Now people are saying louder. I've changed nothing from anybody else or any other time that I've done these sessions. So I'm not sure if it's me or if it's you. All right. Okay, I'm just going to have to keep going because I'm getting people telling me that they can see me and hear me fine and people saying they can't. So I can't respond to every single person. So I'm just going to have to keep going. And if everybody says I can't see you and they can't hear me, then I'll stop. All right, let's keep going. There's so many of you, I think, and that's why if one or two of you say there's something wrong, then there's something wrong. So I want you to participate. That's the idea for today. And I'm glad that you're posting into the chat. And we're going to use some online tools as well. But first of all, let me know in the chat box if, all right, I want to know some things about you. So I'd like to know if your parents sang songs to you or with you. All right, so when you were a kid or when you were a child, did your parents sing songs to you? No, we're getting lots of no's and yeses. Yes, they did. No, yes, yes. Now, I'm assuming most of you are Vietnamese, right? Looking at your names. All right. So I'm assuming that your culture is very much like my culture, where when I was a child and when my daughter was a child, I used to always sing songs and chants to her. It's very common, I think, to use these folk songs, people are saying as well, yeah, these traditional songs. Now, do you have a favorite English children's song or chant? Let me know what this is, if you have one. Good memories are wonderful. So let me know what the song or the chant was. Can you tell me the name? The chat's going really fast, but I'll try and pick up on some. Any heads, shoulders, knees and toes. One little finger. Happy birthday, ABC, twinkle, twinkle. Little bunny, foo, foo. Oh, Baby Shark. That's a new one, isn't it? That's a very, very new one. I didn't know Baby Shark one. If you're happy and you know it. Baby Shark, yeah. Cool. Shining Friend, I don't know that one. The Wheels on the Bus. Yes, okay, so lots and lots of common ones. So let me know, have you used songs or chants with your learners? So hopefully if you are using Global Success, you are using the chants. Of course, good to see. Not using them, some people are. Well, if you are using them, that's great. And hopefully from today, I'll give you some more ideas of how you can use them. And if you're not using them, then hopefully at the end of this session, you'll be really, really excited about using songs and chants in your next lesson. And normally we do associate songs and chants with teaching pre-primary. So we're teaching kindergarten and primary students as well. But there's no reason why we can't use particularly chants and songs, depending on the language in the songs, with any age of learners. I think today, obviously, we're going to be looking at global success, but think about the effectiveness of songs, of chants, and why they are so effective when it comes to memory as well. And the last question I've got for the warm-up session is, let me know in the chat box if your learners enjoy singing in English. Yes, lots of yeses. Yes, of course. Of course, yeah. And I know that singing is very, very popular in Vietnam. I've been to Vietnam many times. One of the times that I'd been there, I was taken to a karaoke place and we had a really fun time. And you could see that people do love singing songs and singing songs in English. So this is not new, right? It's not new that people love singing songs, whether it's in the classroom, outside the classroom, whether it's in the shower, when you're doing some work. We love songs and they're very powerful. Okay, let's keep going. Now, where is my next slide? Now, I'm going to teach you, to start with, I'm going to teach you a song. Now, this is a very simple song. You may have already know it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you something to do while you listen to the song, or while you actually sing the song with me. This is a hello song, all right? It's the first song that we're going to look at today, and we should say hello to each other. So the first thing we're going to do is an action, okay? And this is the action of hello. This is called sign language, all right? And it's good fun for children to learn sign language and have actions that go with words, all right? They can learn that the values of people who might not be able to hear can use sign language to express themselves, and we can use sign language with our young learners to help them make connections between words and actions. And we'll look at that in a bit more detail in a moment. But let's start with this one. So does anybody know what this means when you go like this in sign language? What am I saying here? What's the word? Hello, of course. So this is hello, all right? Hello. And what's this one? Does anybody know this one? When you put your fingers like this together. Does anybody know what this means? Counting is a good guess. Work together. Who do you work together with? Who do you work with? Meet, good. Counting, I like this. Work in pairs, work with your partner. What's another word maybe for partner? It's a name of somebody that you work with. Your partner or your... Hello. Who am I talking to? Hello. Who are you? Hello. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Hello, friends. Okay, this means friends. Okay, so this is hello. Hello, friends. Okay, just the word friends. Hello, friends. And then we go, hello, friends. Hello, friends. And then we change it now. And then we go, what does this mean? What time is it? Good time, exactly. Hello, friends, it's time. And then we've got this one. What does this mean? What does this mean? Moving my hand from my mouth. Kiss, could be a kiss. Speak, good, yes, speak. Or say, it means say. And then we've got the last one is hello, all right? So we're going to sing a song, and this is your song, all right? And I want you to join along at home. So if you're typing in the chat box, I know that you're not joining in at home because you can't type and sign at the same time, okay? So let's do the song together. Let's practice. So it goes like this. I'll do it one time. You can watch, and then you can join in the second time, okay? Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Oh, got it wrong. Hello. Okay, so you can join along now, all right? In a 1, 2, 3. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Okay, so a very simple song. But what I want to get across is the fact that we're doing something while we sing. I really, really firmly believe that we should be doing something while we sing. And we can use songs for different reasons and chants for different reasons. So with a song like hello, friends, hello, friends, hello, friends, it's time to say hello. How could we use this song, do you think, in a class? Why might we use this song? When would you use it, or why would you use it? For greetings, yeah. It's fun, and it's a nice way to greet your students. For warm-up, thank you very much. So your students are coming to the classroom, they're all sitting down, they're waiting for you to start. And you, at the start of the class, you start with a hello song. And the students can do it together, and they know now that the lesson is starting. Okay, they're very clear that when the song is finished, the lesson starts. If you sing the song 1 or 2 or 3 times, those students that are taking a bit of time to get ready, maybe to put their bag down, to find their books, to whatever they're doing, they can join in. And then when everybody's ready and joined in, you stop the song and then you can start the lesson. It's a nice way to signpost the lesson. If you want to, you can find this song, I think, on YouTube, or you can record it yourself if you don't want to do it every single time. But like I said, I like the actions. They're very simple. Children can learn them, and even they can do them without actually singing as well. Maybe you could take away the noise and make the class very quiet, so they're just doing it. And then the class starts in a very nice, quiet, gentle way. So that's a really nice getting to know you. Oh, sorry, a hello song that you can use with your students. I think you should all have a hello song that you use with your learners, whether it's this one or one of your own. 1 second. Got the wrong page. Okay, so now my next question is, why should we use songs and chants? All right, so I've said they're good for joining the class, but give me some ideas. Why should we use songs and chants? What are the reasons for it? Okay, good. They're fun. Definitely fun. Good for attention, yeah. Motivating, yeah. Get their attention. Remember new words is good. Wow, the chat's going really fast. Practice sentences. Students are happy, time to relax. They can't read everything, but you can read it as well. Phonics mentioned here. Funny, learn vocabulary, easy to remember. Practice new words and wonderful, wonderful ideas here. And I wonder if you've got the same as me, but I think you have. Relax as well, yeah. They can be relaxing. And I'll give you a reason why they can be relaxing, particularly for students who might have lack the confidence to be able to speak, or lack the confidence to learn English. And it helps them to relax and gives them confidence for sure. So I've got some ideas here, and let's see if you agree with me. So my first idea, you've mentioned this: fun, happy, interesting learning environment. Yeah, imagine teaching children without teaching songs. The children would be very bored, wouldn't they? And they want to sing, they want to learn through having fun and having interesting activities. Songs and chants are usually a group activity, and I think this helps children relax. As you said, if you're doing things in a group, it's not as challenging, if you like. If you're a lack confidence, if you're working in a group and you have a group that's singing, it's more easy for you to then join in. Lots of people put remember words. And I think, yes, songs and chants definitely are a memorable learning approach. And this is not just something that we've made up. This actually comes from lots and lots of people researching how songs and chants are very memorable for learners. And I'll tell you now, lots of people put Baby Shark into the chat earlier as one of the songs that you sing. Now, I'm not going to sing that song to you now. And the reason I'm not going to sing that song to you now is because if I do, you will be singing it all day. All right, you will. It will just be, it's so catchy that it gets stuck in your brain and you can't stop singing it. And this is what happens to children as well. When they get a catchy song, and all the songs and all the chants in Global Success are very, very catchy. I'm going to play some for you today. But what happens is they get stuck in your brain. And the only way to scratch them, it's like an itch. If you have an itch, you can scratch your arm, right? And the itch goes away. But the song creates an itch on your brain. And the only way that you can scratch that itch is to sing that song. And that's why these songs are so memorable. Somebody said before about language, about introducing language and sentences, reviewing vocabulary and grammar. There we go in the chat now. Very, very much so. We can use them for fun at the start of the lesson. We can use them to start, to tell students when they have things to do. So to start the lesson, to end the lesson. We can use them to tell students to tidy up. We can use them to tell students to stop an activity. We can use them for many different classroom management, but we can also use them to introduce new language. And I put introduce here because I want to differentiate between introduce and what we do very well in Global Stage is to consolidate. And I want to get you to try and change the process, or change the when you use a song as well. And I'll look at that in a moment as well. And my last idea of feeling of why we should use songs, they can improve our speaking and listening. Mainly the goal for students to come and learn English is to improve, and you've said there, communicate. All through the chat, I'm seeing communicate, communicative. And songs can help with students' communication because students will learn the songs, not individual words. They will learn the chunks of the song. So instead of learning I'm going to go to Baby Shark. Instead of learning baby and shark, they just learn baby shark. Okay, they learn the chunk of language so that when they come to speak, they can speak in chunks of language, and this helps with the speaking and the listening. And we'll look at that in a bit more detail as we go through today's session. And somebody mentioned phonics earlier on. Now, phonics we usually associate with reading, but it's also very important for pronunciation as well. Once we've recognized the sound of the word, we can read the word. But to practice those sounds, you can see that particularly in the chants that you will see that the phonics is taught really, really effectively. So rather than teaching with the songs as the whole word, and focusing on the intonation, in the chants, we focus on the individual sounds. And this is very, very effective when it comes to practicing those individual sounds. So these are the 6 kind of ideas that I'm going to look at today. And then after that, we're going to look at some ideas about how we can adapt them in our teaching practice as well. So the first one is songs and chants create a fun learning environment. And that's very true, they do. But we need to teach them effectively, all right? We need to have a process of how we teach songs and chants. We can't just come in and start playing songs and expect children to be interested, and expect children to actually learn from the songs, because they'll get bored of them quickly as well as being interested in them quickly. So we need to have a process. Now, if I just show you this song here, and I've taken out the words, what do you think, my question to you is, what is the topic of this song? Someone's obviously taught this lesson before. Good, good. Or maybe you can just tell by the pictures. Yes, it's all about hobbies. All right. So what does the picture show? What are the hobbies in the pictures? They're all hobbies. Got dancing, thank you, swimming, cooking, and painting. Okay, good. And with this kind of lesson, what language? So I've talked about language before. What language are we practicing? This is from Global Success 3. Okay, you've got the vocabulary. And what language, what structure would we be practicing now? What's your hobby? Okay, very nice. Yeah. So that question, what's your hobby? And there's the text there. What's your hobby? It's dancing. All right. So we can see that the language that we're practicing is what's your hobby? And then we have the gerund, dancing, swimming, cooking, painting. Okay, now children aren't going to be exposed to the grammar in terms of the language of the grammar. Global Success 3, we don't expect students to know what a gerund is, of course, but they're practicing it through these songs and hopefully being able to use it afterwards in other ways. So what am I describing is a methodology. Now have a read of this. What method am I describing here? Now we're coming through, yes. I'm describing TPR. What does TPR mean? What is TPR? There we go, thank you. Total physical response. Some people said using body language. Some people said miming. They're very, very similar to TPR, to total physical response. Now, total physical response is an approach to teaching that you can see here. It says here, using physical movements to reduce student inhibitions and lower their affective filter. So their affective filter are things that stop them from learning. So it might be their confidence might be low. Okay, so if we use this total physical response, we can increase their confidence. Their motivation might be low, and this might be stopping them from learning. And if we use TPR, we might increase motivation. And also, they might be a bit scared of learning English because it's new to them. And if they can use their bodies, which they can already use, then we lower we stop them from being anxious as well. So this total physical response approach is very, very effective. But what is it? Some people think that total physical response is I do and you copy. Okay? To an extent, yes, but it's not just that. There's a methodology which we're going to look at of how you should teach it effectively. Now, first of all, I'm going to open this up to you. I'm going to stop talking for a moment. So what are the advantages of total physical response? I'm going to give you a task to do, and I'd like you to go to Mentimeter. In the chat box, you can see there. If you click on this or scan the code or go to menti.com, you can add your thoughts to our question. What are the advantages of total physical response? All right, so if you click on that, and then I'll open it up in a moment. I'll just see where we are. There we go. Okay, good. We got lots of ideas coming in. And I'll give you a couple of minutes just to write your ideas. You can see them coming on the board now. And you can put them in the chat too, that's fine. Let me scroll down. Wow, you've got so many wonderful ideas. I'm going to add these to my ideas as well. These are great. Wow, there's so much to read, and your participation is amazing. Thank you so much. So I'll let you have a look at that, and I'll share the, I believe I can share the results with you as well. Give me a second. And I'll put this into the chat where you can actually see the results yourself as well. Because there's just so much for me to share with you here. One second, where's my mouse gone? There it is. Okay. Wow. So lots and lots of ideas here. Let's go back to my PowerPoint now and see, and I'm pretty sure you've got everything that I have on my PowerPoint. Can I just check you can see my PowerPoint okay? So I'm not talking to myself. You got my PowerPoint there, right? Okay, lovely. Okay. So I've got some ideas of advantages here. So the first one, it mirrors how children acquire language. All right. So in our first languages, we generally learn to start off with as using TPR. So parents will teach their children using TPR. Okay, so children already have access to this. They've already been exposed to this methodology already. Yeah, lots of people put this. It's fun and easy. Someone's got my my ideas here. Maybe they've seen my session before. It doesn't require a great deal of prep. Okay, and this is very, very important. Now, the preparation for you as a teacher is low. It's good for vocab, and class size is not a problem. Okay, so you can do this with 100 people. In fact, I'm going to do it with all of you in a moment now. Okay, and as somebody said as well, who maybe have seen a presentation I've done on TPR before, there is no age barrier. All right, so when it comes to doing TPR, you can do it with adults, you can do it with kids, you can do it with teenagers. I would say that the people are this in my experience, doing it with kids is good, doing it with adults is okay, but you have to do it only a little bit. But with teenagers, it can be a real problem because they get kind of, you know, just because of the age they are. But we're talking about young learners, and therefore it's fine for young learners. Now, let me just go back to the Mentimeter, and I'm going to open up my next slide, which is, what are the disadvantages of using TPR? So what are the disadvantages of using TPR? Let me go back. You go back to the Mentimeter and you should be able to add some disadvantages. Good, good, yeah. So we've got some, it can be noisy. Some students may feel embarrassed, but hopefully because it's a group activity, they'll be able to hide a little bit, even if they feel embarrassed. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes it can be limited for sure, and I think that's one of my disadvantages. You can't use it with every single chant, but you can with lots, particularly if you've got actions. But we're getting a lot of stuff about noisy and out of control. So let's go back to mine. So I've got that it's not very creative. All right. So we have what is there. We can't really do much with it except those words that we're trying to teach. All right. And because the process, which I'm going to show you, is very structured. If we follow that process, it's difficult to be creative outside of that process. It's easy to use it too much. You've got to be careful with it. If you use it all the time, students will get bored and your lessons will be, like you said, very noisy. We have to use other approaches as well. We can't just use TPR. Otherwise, we're not going to be teaching effectively. So there's 3 of the disadvantages. Now, you mentioned noisy a lot and out of control. And I would agree with you that that is the case if you're not using it correctly. All right. But if you have a process and students know the process, then you will be able to control that noise. You'll be able to control the chaos, if you like, if you think that there will be chaos. I've used it before many times and I haven't found it to be that chaotic because I've used a specific process. So here's my process of what I'm going to use, or my framework. So I'm going to give you a framework of how we teach using TPR. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the actions and see if you can guess what the actions are. Now, you know what these actions are already because you've been exposed to them. But if you're my learners, you won't have seen these actions just yet. And doing TPR online is a challenge, okay? I'm thinking about this as face-to-face. We're back in the classroom now. So look at me and do like me is, you could say it's TPR, but as I said, there's a specific process. So here are the 4 words. What am I doing? No, I'm dancing, yes. As I said, miming is a bit of a challenge when you're online. Okay, good. I'm dancing. What am I doing? I'm swimming. Thank you. What am I doing? I'm cooking. Thank you. And the last one, I'm painting. Thank you so much. Thank you for getting them quickly without me having to do them too much. Maybe I should have done ones that you didn't know, but never mind. It's easier for me, particularly online. If we're face-to-face, we could be having lots of chaos and lots of fun, particularly if there's 1,000 of you in the room. So we know what the words are, what I'm going to teach. Okay, so now let's look at the routine. There is a specific routine to TPR, and please, when you're teaching it in the future, follow this routine. Then you will have a structure. Then you will reduce the noise and you'll reduce the chaos. So the first part of the teaching routine is the students will listen and copy the actions. Okay? They will listen and they will copy the actions. All right? So all I will do is I will say the word, I will do the action, and the students will copy. So if you want to copy me, that's fine. But you are not speaking, all right? You're just doing the action. Okay, so if we're dancing, I'm dancing, or just dancing. And you're copying the action. You're not saying the action. Very important. And I will go through my actions. Dancing, swimming, cooking, painting. Dancing, swimming, cooking, painting. And all the time, the students are copying the actions, listening and copying. No speaking, no noise, no chaos. They can do their own dances, of course. They can do their own swimming. They could do their own cooking. No action, no noises. Own cooking. They could do their own painting. They could maybe paint the house. All right, but they are not speaking. Now the students will listen, they copy, and they will say the action. Okay? So, dancing. Students will then say, dancing, and they will copy the actions at the same time. And this will go on. Swimming. Students will swim and say, swimming. Cooking, 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 and painting, painting. Okay, so now they have an opportunity to say the words. The teacher then makes the actions but doesn't say anything, and the children then say the action. And the children say the action. So this is to check that they can speak and recognize the word from the action. And then the teacher changes the order and the children say the action. Okay? So this time I might go and the children will So by changing the order, this is a very, very important part. You're checking that they're not just memorizing the words by rote, by just listening, dancing, swimming, cooking, painting, dancing, swimming, cooking, painting. They can, if they memorize the words by rote, we're not checking the understanding. You have to mix it up, change the order at the end, and then you can be sure that the children will understand those words. You're not saying the words, you're acting them, so they recognize them from the acting. And then you go back and repeat. Start at number 1 again, number 2, number 3, number 4. And by doing this structure, by having this structure, you can really, really get a deeper understanding. It's not just I do, you do. That's not TPR. That's not getting, making sure that students fully understand exactly what they're supposed to do. So when you're looking at the songs and chants, that you can see, when you've got these words, these key words, what's your hobby is very difficult, isn't it, to do a TPR. You're looking at these single words and miming these single words. What's your hobby you're going to learn as a chunk, and you might drill that as vocabulary and get them to say it over and over again as you normally would. But with the other words, with the different words that are changed, then you can use TPR for these words and have children recognize them and understand those key words within our chant. And now you will play the chant, and you can do lots of things with the chant. And we'll look at what you can do before, what you can do while, and what you can do after the chant in a moment as we go through the session today. Let's have a listen to this chant, because I love listening to the chant.
Page 37.
Let me just check I'm sharing my sound. Okay, good. Here we go.
Lesson 2. Activity 6. Let's sing. My hobby. What's your hobby? It's dancing. What's your hobby? It's swimming. What's your hobby? I like cooking. What's your hobby? I like painting, dancing, swimming, cooking, and painting.
very, very lovely song. And I love the songs in Global Success because they're different. This one is kind of a, what's your hobby? It's dancing. It's kind of slow and easy to follow. But some of them are going to be quite quick and active, and some of them are going to be different genres of music. And I really like that. They mix it up like that. Now, let's have a look at the next thought, that songs and chants. What's with this? Songs and chants are usually done as a group activity. Okay, so what do these images show? I've got these images here. What do they say to you? They're groups, right? And what do we think about when we're in a group? What's good about being in a group? Work together. I like that. Many ideas, teams work together. Stronger. I like that. Working groups is better than alone. Why? Why is it better than alone? Think about the reasons why children might not like to learn English. What we mentioned before. Less worried. Good. They can help each other, learn from each other. Four heads is better than one. Okay, we're getting there as well, yeah. So what I wanted to say about this is there is safety in numbers, okay? So when you are in a group, you are safer than when you are not in a group, okay? So this little penguin here, he's going to join his group because outside of the group, if he's on his own, he's going to feel quite scared and anxious and less confident, yeah. But when he gets in the group, he can be confident because he's got other people to rely on. Now, with children, working in groups can really help them with their confidence. They can have courage. They can feel safe. It's a safe environment. All right. So imagine with a song, we're all in a group today. Okay. And imagine we are all together face to face, and I play the song and we all sing the song together. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel fine, right? Because we're all together. And you can decide whether you want to sing or whether you don't want to sing, okay? No one's going to, maybe the person next to you might say, come on, sing. But really, the teacher's not going to know. You're going to feel fine. And then if you don't feel like singing, maybe, actually, you might even try to sing because you're in a group and nobody will be able to pick up on your singing. Everyone is equal, correct? And everyone has a choice. But when we do that, when we create these groups, like I said, it's secure. The students feel safe. Don't feel shy. Thank you. But I think we also have to create an opportunity here. There's safety in numbers, but there is no courage. Okay, this is a nice quote. So when we have a group, we have a number of students and we feel safe, but we have to also have an opportunity for children to express themselves, to build their confidence and to show off. You will have students in your class who love to show off. They want to sing a song in front of everybody, and we have to give them that opportunity as well. So when we have songs and chants, we want to build them up. Okay, we want to introduce them in a way that will unite the group. Someone's put unite, and then allow individual students to really express themselves. And I'll quickly show you how I would do this with a class of students. So I'm going to use this song. It's called Fish and Chips. It's from Global Success 1. I chose this song because I like fish and chips, very much so. Milk and chicken. I don't know if I've ever drank milk and ate chicken at the same time, but I probably have. But I certainly have had fish and chips. Very, very strong collocation. Like fish and chips? Anyway, we'll look at how we can change it in a moment to things that you might like. So the first thing we're going to do as a group is the teacher will say and the students will repeat. Okay, and this will go through the song. Fish and chips, I like fish and chips. And the teacher speaks or they listen to the recording. But normally beforehand, the teacher will practice it first before we play the recording. Okay, fish and chips, students repeat. Then we split the groups. We have two groups now. Teacher will say, and the groups will repeat. Okay, they will separate the groups. So group 1, fish and chips, fish and chips. Group 2, fish and chips, fish and chips. And they will repeat. So we split them up. And then we split them up again into smaller groups. We do the same. And by doing this, the teacher can really check now on pronunciation. If I'm checking the pronunciation, particularly with something like fish and chips, I work in Thailand. I'm based in Thailand. If I do fish and chips in Thailand, it's very difficult for students to say the S at the end of chips. They would say fish and chip, fish and chip. And I will need to then do some work to help them with the S at the end of the word, fish and chips, and get them to pronounce that S, okay? But I can't do that if I have a group like this, because I can't tell which students have a problem with it, okay? Because if 1 or 2 students say the S, it just comes through. So I need to break it down to find out where the problem might occur. So with group 1, they might be going fish and chip. So I know they need a bit of extra help, and I might then be able to drill it again, to say the words again, and get them to say the correct words. Break it up again. And now I really get to target who my learners are, and who needs support, and who needs help. Okay, really breaking it all down. If you have a class of 50, then change this to so that you've got like 50, 25, 25, and then break it up into smaller groups. You can still do this in a large class. You just need to be able to manage those smaller groups effectively, and make sure they know who they are. But it doesn't matter if you say, okay, group in the corner, and you've got like 6 or 7 of it. You don't have to have it so formalized as I have. I'm just got this perfect like this. So you've got this broken down now. I wouldn't do individual, but what I'm now going to do is ask my students who would like to be the teacher. Does anybody want to be the teacher? And one of my students says yes. So they have now an opportunity to show off, to show to everybody how good they are. Okay, so then the student would say fish and chips, and we would repeat after the students. So you're not asking individual students to come out. You're asking anybody if they would like to come to the front. You're giving those students who want to show off a chance to show off. What this does, it encourages other students to maybe who are less confident to maybe come to the front and practice in front of everybody. And everybody can clap and everybody can cheer because the student is now the teacher and is showing everybody what to do. So this is a really nice way of allowing those stronger students to develop, but at the same time, because you've started as a group, everybody has participated at one point in the lesson. So here's the fish and chip song. I love this song.
Activity 8. Let's sing. Fish and chips, fish and chips. I like fish and chips. Milk and chicken, milk and chicken. I like milk and chicken.
And what you could do after this activity, of course, is you could have one side of the room which is I like fish and chips, or like. One side, don't like. Fish and chips, they have to run to the side that they like or don't like. Milk and chicken, or just milk, chicken, fish, chips, they run to the side that they like. Have a fun little activity building that up. Oh, and the last one, when you've sung the song, is you want them to sing the song to each other. So, let me just go back one moment. So the teacher isn't saying anything. They've listened to the song and they've practiced the song. And then now, group one here is going to start the song. So group one will say, fish and chips. Group two will repeat, fish and chips. I like fish and chips. Milk and chicken. Group one, milk and chicken. I like milk and chicken. So they're going back and forth, singing to each other. Okay? You play the song, they can sing the song together and get into the rhythm, get into the time, and then they could sing it without the music if they wanted to. So make sure that you mix up your groups and use your groups as part of the chanting process. Songs and chants are a memorable learning approach, all right? They, as I said, they are very, very catchy. You will be singing, hopefully, in the afternoon when you go home and you're cooking your dinner, you're making your pho, you're singing fish and chips, I like fish and chips. And I guarantee at least 10% of you will be singing that this afternoon, and you'll be saying, "Ah, why did he sing that song?" But you'll remember it, and the children will too. So let's see if you can guess what words are missing from here. I'll just give you a moment to read that and see if you can guess. Good. Don't be afraid to guess. Learn, remember. I like it. Lots of learns and remember. Nice, steady sound. Okay, good. So this is a way of what we call differentiation, okay? I've given you a text. I've asked you to just come up with some words. It's quite difficult. With my stronger students, obviously the text wouldn't be like this, would be a bit more simple. With my strong students, I would give them the text like this with no help. You have no help at all, okay? But you're all teachers. So I'm now going to give you some help. So these words all fit in the gap, but they're not in the right order. So here's your answers. Put them into the right order now. Nice. Now we're getting there. So when I see the answer correct, I'm going to put it in. Okay, so the first thing is absorb. So that goes into them. Easily absorb, easily get the word, easily understand the word. So what's B? So if you absorb, the word goes in, what do you then need to do after that? Very good, yes. You need to reproduce. You need to say it yourself, okay? So, children easily absorb and reproduce the language of songs. They serve as an excellent Memory, thank you very much. Yes, so it helps us remember the of words. Thank you very much, Brinton. A repetition of words and language structures can enhance learning and stick easily in learners' minds. So this is what we've been saying. And as I said, I wanted to make this scientific, if you like. So I looked at lots of research and I've come up with this research paper, which backs up this approach to learning by using songs and chants. Very, very effective. And then we talk about the rhyming element. So fish and chip, da 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 da. So this is the music, but the rhyming element of songs as well. When we have words that rhyme together, as you'll see through the songs and the chants, is really great for spelling and really great for analyzing words. All right. So we've got lots of things going on. We've got the music, which helps with pronunciation and intonation. When we've got chants, we will see we've got specific phonics and specific sounds of phonemes. And then we've got rhyming as well, words that sound the same. Okay, and these all help with our memory. Let's have a look at these three popular songs. All right, these are not from Global Success, but I wanted to make this point. What are these songs? Which is this? What's this song here? You should know it. It's got the words in it. Thank you. And this song? Thank you. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And this song? Oh, this. Oh, there we go. Ba Ba Black Sheep. Thank you very much. Yes. Whoops. So, what do you notice about these songs? ABC, Twinkle Twinkle, and Ba Ba Black Sheep. What do you notice about them? They're easy. Okay, good. Easy to remember. They're fun, popular. There's something that ties the three together. Something very important. Now, rhythms and easy to sing, easy to sing. Okay, I think you've got it there. The rhythm is easy to sing. So the rhythm is easy to remember. Okay. They all have the same tune. They all have the same melody. Okay. So having the same melody makes it even easier to remember. So having similar melodies can be very useful, but also if you have the same melody for every song, it could be quite boring. So you have to be very careful. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, twinkle, twinkle, little star, Ba Ba Black Sheep, have you any wool? They're the same tune, same melody. So these, having the same melody can really help with our memory as well. So I just wanted to point that out. This is one of the reasons why children won't just remember the words, but they'll remember the melody as well. And in that, you can change the words very easily so that children can still sing the same song, but with different words. You can mix it up very nicely. Now, also, don't forget to personalize. All right. So fish and chips. Do you eat fish and chips? Do you eat fish and chips often in Vietnam? Yeah? Fish and chips? Is it a common food? No. Yes, yes, no? No, I like chips only. That's good, yeah. Not really, is it? Fish and chips is a very common, I would say a very common British food. Right? We eat fish and chips from the fish and chip shop. We have actually chip shops and fish and chip shops. Milk and chicken. What about milk and chicken? When was the last time you ate milk and chicken? Well, yes, we got nose. Common food in cities. Okay, that's important, isn't it? Yeah. So the purpose of this song, I think, is if we look at this song, the purpose of the song is to introduce language of I like, all right, to like something. But also you can see there's a phonics element of fish and chips, milk, ilk, all right. So there's two reasons to have this song, to do this song. I like, and also the sound So what we might want to do is, after we've practiced I like, after we've practiced the sound, and we're confident that students can do what they're supposed to do, we might want to personalize it. So what would you put in here to personalize it for Vietnamese students? How would you change it up? I've personalized it for myself. Rice and fish, nice. Replace the words with what? Ah, you could, but let's try and keep it to food. Okay, chicken and rice, pork and beef, fish and meat. You're going for fish and chips again, beef and fish, rice and chicken. Okay, so you can personalize it for many, many different things that you like. All right, write about your favorite foods, yes. But you can keep the melody. Fish and, let me get one. Bread and egg, bread and egg. I like bread and egg. Fish and meat, fish and meat. I like fish and meat. Okay, so I can change it up, but for my own personalized activity. Now, I've decided to use this one because this is what I eat when I come to Vietnam very often. Miss Quinn always treats me with this lovely food. So, pho and spring rolls, pho and spring rolls. I like pho and spring rolls. And then, what else might I like? You don't know me that well, right? But I think every foreigner and Vietnamese, but really banh mi. There you go. We've got banh mi and something to drink. Something to drink. What's very popular? Coffee, okay, yeah. Beer, for sure. I'm thinking fruit juice. Okay, I'll give you that one. Yeah. We've got peach tea. All right. I do like a beer, but this is a family webinar, so I didn't put beer. And we've got banh mi and peach tea. Banh mi and peach tea. I like banh mi and peach tea. All right, so I've changed it up. I've personalized it. So the idea is, obviously, whenever you do anything that allows this to happen, let your students have fun. Right? You don't need to have a PowerPoint or anything like this. Simply write it on the board, and they can just add their own words and have fun. And they don't just say what they want to say and what they want to put in. Let them enjoy personalizing and making the song their own. And maybe if they're going out the classroom, they can sing it for their own. Before they leave the classroom, they have to sing it for themselves. Okay, and if they can't think of anything, they can still say fish and chips, I like fish and chips. Goodbye, next person. Pho and spring roll, and then they can leave when they leave. It's a nice way of ending the lesson. Songs and chants can introduce language. All right, so I've got grammar and stuff up here, but let's have a look at how we do that. Now I'm going to play you a song, and I'm going to ask you to tell me what structure and what vocabulary is being practiced. Okay, I can't remember if it's the song or the chant first, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so have a listen, and in the chat, tell me which is being practiced.
Page 27. Lesson 2. Activity 6. Let's sing. My bedroom. There's a bed in my bedroom. It's new, it's new, it's new. The bed is new. There are two windows in my bedroom. They're small, they're small, they're small. The windows are small.
Very, very good so far. Now I'll play the chant. Sorry. Finish the song, sorry.
Page 28. Lesson 3. Activity 3. Let's chant.
A door in the bedroom. There's a door in the bedroom. The door is big. The bedroom is big too. Doors in the living room. There are two doors in the living room. The doors are small. The living room is small too.
So you got it quite easily, right? So the idea about that is I want to think about this word here, introduce. All right? I have played that to you and you have told me exactly.
Page 27.
Stop. You have told me exactly what we can see here in our scope and sequence. All right? So this is what we know we're going to teach. But we can also play this to the students before they do anything in the unit. The chant and the song comes later. It's used to consolidate. I'll show you in a moment how we do that. But you can use this to introduce language. You could give students the script. And again, I've done this on here, but you can put this on the board. It only takes 2 minutes to write this on the board with the gaps missing. And the students have to listen and tell you what the words are that are missing. Okay? If you wanted to, if you have a smaller class, you could maybe even print this out or photocopy this like this, and the students can sit down and write it in. And then you could give this to student A and this one to student B. So student A are looking for there is and there are. They're looking for the grammar. But student B is looking for the vocabulary. Okay? Some of the vocabulary. And then they can swap. They can go together and they can read the sentence to each other. You can do a mutual dictation. That's what this is called. So student A will read to student B. Student B will read to student A. And they write in their gaps. Okay? A very simple dictation activity. And this, then they have the record of what's missing, and they can then sing the song, and they're introduced to the grammar and the vocabulary at the start of the unit. And then after that, we go ahead and we teach the grammar and the vocabulary. So if you look at the structure of this unit, you'll see here we start with a look, listen, and repeat. We introduce some of the grammar, we introduce some of the vocabulary. Point and say, we talk about it, we listen for understanding, we write, we play a game. Then we look again, we talk about it in lesson 2, again some listening, but it's only here that we sing the song, okay, in lesson 6. So sometimes I would say to you, perfect, use the song now to consolidate, to check all the understanding from before. But I would also say to you, at the start of lesson, move number 6 to number 1 here. Play the song at the start of lesson 1, have a bit of fun, see if they can guess the language, see if they can understand the vocab, and then you can start to teach it as well. If they don't get it, it doesn't matter because you're going to teach it. If they do get it, they'll feel great because they've done an activity that shows that they've got some understanding already, and then everything else will come easier. So move it around, change it around. You'll see that the chant is actually in lesson 3. So you could move the chant to the beginning as well. So I would just change it up a little bit. Only the songs and the chants, because they're there to consolidate. They're there to check. They're not there to sort of teach anything. But you can use it to introduce language. I would definitely suggest that you try. So let's have a look at why we use them. We've looked a little bit at the reasons why we use them, but they are differently. And I just want to make sure you're clear about this. In level 1, we use them to practice phonics and to provide language practice. So here you've got the L sound. L, look at Lucy. Look at Lucy, she's running around the lake. But we've also got some language here, present continuous, that we're introducing to the students. So 2 reasons. I have a cup, and we're practicing the have, I have, for personal possessions. And then we've got this is practiced with all right, so the songs will provide both language and phonics, and the chants provide phonics. Because when you listen to the chant, the difference is it will be it, fish, not I, fish, because it's not fish, it's fish. Okay? Fish and chips. So it'll be it, fish, it, chips, fish and chips, fish and chips, it, milk, it, chicken, milk and chicken, milk and chicken. All right, so we're making them aware through the chants of the sound of the phonemes. We would be very confusing if we said I, it, fish, I, it, fish. All right, so we need to be clear that we're teaching phonics exactly through the chants. Okay, if we go back to the song, hi, I'm is not it. The is what we're practicing in the phonics, but everything else is how we would say it without the breaking it down into phonics. In level 2, we provide phonics practice and revision of level 1 language. All right, so is a blanket near the tent. Okay, we've got some phonics here because we provide language and phonics review. It's my birthday party, I like. Present continuous. And then the chant is the road. So specific phonics. And there's a road. Okay, which is what we've learned in level 1. Okay, so review. And in level 3, this is kind of nice. What's this? Then we have a little bit more advanced vocabulary. And this is very nice. You can see, what can you see at the zoo? I can see a monkey. What's the monkey doing? It's swimming. So very, very advanced in terms of, not very, very advanced, but more advanced than level 2, because there are 2 structures. What can you see? What's the monkey doing? All right, so there's difference. And then the chant is not explicit in the actual text, but they see it before. But it provides phonics practice, but more advanced of ER, yeah, or the schwa sound, mother, doctor, So it's building on those phonics. Individual sounds, level 1 and 2, and level 3, we're looking at tricky sounds and the schwa as well of the So it builds it up very, very nicely, and the songs and the chants are very familiar and fun and tackle difficult things that students will encounter. All right, let's look at listening and speaking. I'm good for time. How can they improve listening and speaking? Well, here's an example that we've got here. I'm just going to talk about this. I'm not going to kind of give too many examples, but what I want to say is that the songs and the chants provide a model for what students are then expected to do. They remember the words, not individually, but in chunks. What's he doing is remembered. What's he doing? Not what's he doing. They remember it in a chunk. So it's easier for them to then produce that when they're asking other questions outside of the song, okay? Or when teachers are asking other questions outside of the song. And it's very important that we think about these songs as being kind of chunks of language rather than just individual words. Also, the intonation of the song helps with that pronunciation, which we'll look at in a moment. They can start to build this into real conversations that they can have, as I said, outside of the song. So there's lots of language, even in this simple song, that they can take into the real life. Most of the songs are kind of like dialogues, so they can use them quickly and effectively afterwards as well. So for this one, what's he doing? He's doing a quiz. We can have a lot of fun with this. We can play games. We can play mind games. I could tell the student to do something. I could whisper in his ear, dance, dance. Student in the front of the class, I would say, what's he doing? And the student starts to dance, and they would say he's dancing, or he's coloring, or he's answering a question, as we can see here. We can play games with it. We can also talk about values as well when we come to answering these questions as well. Get them to change roles, and they can play these things in groups. But because they're in dialogues, they're very easy to then adapt and use in other ways. Great for pronunciation. So as you can see, this is a chant for the p sound, the pasta, pizza, popcorn. I like pasta, I like pizza, I like popcorn. Now, what's great about the pronunciation is that it deals with the phonics as well. So it helps them with the reading, but it also helps them with that pronunciation. The situation is very familiar. Okay, here we have a birthday party. Okay. Students hopefully will have been to a birthday party or be aware of a party. They will know the kind of things they like in a party. You can ask them questions beforehand about the P, what P words can you see? And then repeat, repetition, pa, 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 and get them to repeat it. Have fun with this and build on that pronunciation, and have that repetition going within the chant itself. Okay, so I've given you some thoughts and ideas about why they are songs are useful, and now I just want to end with today's session with just giving you some ideas of what you can do when you're teaching these songs. So what you can do before you teach, what you can do while you teach, and what you can do after you teach. Now, I'm happy for you to share in the chat box. I was going to get you to share using an online tool, but I think there's just too many of us to use the online tool. So I'm just going to adapt my slides to remove that, because it would be quite confusing, I think, and not effective. So let's just give me a second. And I'll go back to my slides. Okay, so we're going to look at adaptations and activities. Okay, let me just pull up the chat again. I've lost my chat box. 1 second. Okay, great. You've already started. Cool. Okay, I don't need to say anything. This is all for English as a second language students. You just need to, this is why we need to do this at the start of the lesson. For ESL, EFL, ELT, they're all the same. Okay, exploit the picture, describe the picture. I love that, Tamfan. Lai, Chauti, Thank you. Yes. Review the structure, maybe. Before you listen, review the words. Okay, good. Discover the pictures. I like that. Yeah. And why are we reviewing picture? Why are we discovering the picture? What's the point of that? Okay, to find out the vocabulary, to set the context. I like that. I like that about know the rhythm as well. We could play the rhythm beforehand if we know the rhythm. Okay, good stuff. Okay, I like this. This is really nice. So, what do we need to do before they listen? We need to stimulate interest. And we do that by showing them the picture, of course. So, we don't have the words, no words yet, only the picture. All right? So, if we can get them to, if we can, if you can get them at the front of the class, if it's big enough, and just take away the words and try and get them to tell you about the picture. And from the picture, you get the context of what happens in the classroom. And this then introduces the difficult words. So what we then do is pre-teach the vocabulary. So we pre-teach the word quiz. We pre-teach the word square. We pre-teach color, answer, question. Okay, these key words. All right. We might want to check the understanding of what's he doing. Okay, so we might play a game, like I said earlier, to check that understanding of what's he doing. But we need to pre-teach that vocabulary. We might want to do some prediction activities. Okay, so we might want to take away, obviously take away the words, and the teacher might ask, what's the boy doing? They might predict then what the words are going to be. He's doing a quiz. Hopefully they'd come up with that, but they might just say quiz. And then you can build on that. You can teach the language that they need. What's he doing? Drawing. Good. Is he drawing? No, he's drawing it already. What's he doing? He's putting the color in. He's coloring. So you're teaching, you're pre-teaching this vocabulary. And then even with stronger students, you could write it on the board and in the wrong order. Okay, you could change it. If you're using a PowerPoint, you can copy the lyrics, put the lyrics in a different order. If you have a small class, you could photocopy and cut up the words, cut up the sentences of the song, cut it up and ask them to put it in the correct order and see if they could do that. Then they can listen and check. All right, so very simple activities. But the key is, before you listen to anything, just like you do a listening activity, you want to be doing something before it to stimulate the interest, to get the students ready to listen. All right, so make sure you do something with it. Find out the keys, find out the key words. Yeah, very nice. So my next question, what could we do while they listen? Give me some ideas. Actions, yes, very good. Clap their hands, yep. Do the actions, stress the word, follow the lyrics, focus on the actions, yeah. Find the new words, listen to the melody. I like that. Listen to the melody, listen, do the actions. This is really nice, the clapping of the hands, I like that. You clap out the rhythm, right? And chips. Yeah. Sing and do. Lovely, lovely ideas. Yeah. All excellent, excellent ideas. So whatever we do while they listen, I would just suggest that before you do anything, just let them listen. Play it. They're very short. So you don't have to worry about the time. Let them listen first, okay? They don't have to do anything. They can watch, they can listen if you've got a video of anything, but you haven't. You've got the song. All they do, you play the song, and they just listen. And they might move along while they're listening. You might clap at the same time. But for the first time, listen to the song. Let them become familiar. Let them become used to the tune. Let them get used to the rhythm. And then you can maybe get them to clap. And okay? Play it over and over again. Then you will see that you don't have to tell them to sing. They will start to sing naturally. They'll start to, it will just start to come from them. If you say to them, okay, I'm going to play the song now, and I want you to sing. There's pressure. They're going to be like, I don't know the words just yet. I'm not really sure about the sound of quiz. I don't really know coloring. That's why I'm saying let them listen first and nobody say anything. Once, twice, clap the rhythm, and then when they're ready, they will start to sing. And then it become a big group and they can all sing together and join in when they feel ready to join in. Then you could start to do the actions, all right? You can get the children to invent the actions themselves. They can point to the images in the picture while they're listening. You can just point to the images, check the understanding. You could have things around the room that maybe they could move to if they want to, or point to around the room. You do the TPR, of course, beforehand, yes. But this is what I like with the TPR, is you get them to think of the actions that could go with the vocabulary, okay? Get them to come up with an action. That's kind of fun. And you can all agree on the same action. And of course, you're going to sing along. That makes sense. All right, so there's loads of things that you can do before and while you listen. And I would just have fun with it and invent up your own ideas as well. And then the last thing we're going to look at is after. What could we do after they finish singing? Now what? Definitely, yeah. Act it out, good. Good, write their own songs. Perform it, yeah. Present it in groups, again, that's kind of nice because it's less threatening. Sing and do the actions. Yeah, good. And I think particularly with children, there's no end to what you can perform, right? So even if you're doing something like this, what's he doing? You could be like, what's he doing? And then he's doing a quiz. So you can do the actions very easily. Okay. With milk and chicken, how can you act out milk? Fish and chips, okay, if you're a fish and chips, easy, right? But what about milk? How can you do an action for milk? So this is where you can be very creative. Students can come up with their own actions for words that don't have an action. And this is fun, creative, and hopefully will build their higher order thinking skills as well. So after we can do many things, and your answers in the chat are great. We could draw the song or part of the song. All right, we could do some creativity with drawing. We could draw a story of the song. Okay. Okay, that would be a good one for him, yeah. Suck out the milk from the pack. Act out the song, you all said that. Perform, act. And this is quite fun. Make a freeze frame, which is very similar to acting. out the song. They have a scene and they have to freeze it. And we have to guess which part of the song they're freezing. Okay? We could retell it, obviously, go around, tell each other the song, sing it to each other if they want to. And even better, we retell the song, but we completely change the words of the song. So by doing that, we personalize the song or the chants, and we have our students go around and tell each other their own ideas, performing new activities. Exactly. So hopefully at this stage you have the song, what we saw before. Whoops. You have the song here. Hang on a second. Fish and chips, fish and chips. I like fish and chips. 1 second. I lost my PowerPoint. Fish and chips, fish. I might have fish and chips for my lunch today. It's in my head. I like fish and chips. Okay, back in the game. All right, so we had this song at the start. What's he doing? He's doing a quiz. What's he doing? He's coloring a square. What's she doing? She's answering a question. But hopefully, when our students are retelling their story or retelling their song, they're not saying he's doing a quiz, that he's doing something completely different. All right. So when they go round, when we get to this stage, to change the words and then retell the song to their friends, we have a completely new song. And we can play the song and they can add their own words to it, and just sing over the top of the original song. I love fish and chips. But it's only 10:12, so I have to wait a couple of hours yet before lunchtime. Otherwise, I'll go and get some now. All right. Well, that kind of brings me to the end of my my presentation. We do have something for you to do, though. We have a Q&A. If anybody's got any questions, please put them into the Q&A section or the chat, and I'm happy to stay around for a while and answer. And we have a survey for feedback, as always. We really value your feedback. We want to know what kind of sessions you want, and we will pass this feedback on. But please, please, please complete the feedback. It's very important to us. So does anybody have any questions? Let me look in the Q&A.
So thank you very much, Bill. It's a very, very useful and interesting presentation today, and I hope my teachers are happy with it. So may I have them to summarize what you have taught today, and then we have 1 or 2 minutes for them to give their questions now.
Sounds great.
Yeah, thank you. Vâng, kính thưa các thầy cô, như vậy trong khoảng thời gian 1 tiếng 45 phút ạ, thầy Dell đã mang đến một bài thuyết trình và những cái chia sẻ vô cùng hấp dẫn, và hy vọng rằng các thầy cô đã cảm thấy rất là hài lòng với những gì mà thầy chia sẻ ngày hôm nay. Như vậy thầy đã chia sẻ với chúng ta mục tiêu của những cái bài song và bài Chants được triển khai trong tiếng Anh Global Success là gì, đúng không ạ? Thông qua việc dạy học song và Chants, các thầy cô có thể thấy được nó gần như là một phương pháp tổng hợp để có thể ôn tập lại phần ngữ âm, phần phát âm, phonics hay là pronunciation. Chúng ta có thể ôn tập lại các cấu trúc cũng như là từ vựng đã được học ở trong bài. Thầy cũng có chia sẻ với tất cả các thầy cô giáo những cái teaching routines, rồi những cái procedure để triển khai một bài song hay bài Chants ở trên lớp, những cái hoạt động pre, những hoạt động while hay là after listening, để các thầy cô có thể triển khai và sử dụng song and Chants như một nội dung có thể warm up một bài học mới hoặc là một bài review cho các cái phần kiến thức đã được học ở trước đó. Với cái tiến trình và những cái techniques cũng như cái tips mà thầy chia sẻ ngày hôm nay, thì hy vọng các thầy cô đã có thể trang bị thêm cho mình những cái tips và những cái techniques để triển khai bài song Anh Chants, cũng như là sử dụng song Anh Chants vào trong cái quá trình tiến trình dạy học của mình với mỗi một unit và lesson trong Global Series. Vâng, và hy vọng các thầy cô có thể ghi chép được những thông tin ngày hôm nay, và ban tổ chức cũng sẽ gửi lại slide cũng như phần recording này để các thầy cô có thể xem lại và chia sẻ với đồng nghiệp của mình. So once again, many thanks to Derek Sprafford, and hope you enjoy fish and chips lunch today. Thank you very much. And các thầy cô ơi, chúng mình hãy gửi lời cảm ơn ạ. Các thầy cô hãy gửi lời cảm ơn và tình cảm của mình với thầy Derek thông qua chat box bằng những icon mà các thầy cô cảm thấy là mình muốn thể hiện, và hy vọng thầy Derek sẽ quay lại với chúng ta vào một dịp rất gần trong tương lai vào năm tới, và có thể mời thầy trực tiếp sẽ đứng lớp tại Việt Nam. Vâng, xin mời các thầy cô hãy thả tim và cảm ơn thầy ạ. Thank you very much, Derek Sprafford.
Thank you very much. Thank you for organizing everything. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you, and hope you enjoy your day.
You too.